All right. So, yep, just like we mentioned today, a little icebreaker. Yeah, we had some ice today, didn't we? That was a bit crazy. I'm such a bad judge of the weather around here when it comes to snow and ice and whether to stay open or close. I just, my threshold is in Michigan. Okay. I just normally get up a little bit earlier, save time to clean off the car, drive a little bit slower, take my time getting into the office, but I get here and we're ready to serve. So we did have people show up today, but I get it living in this area. The shocker was the litmus test was when I first moved out here in 2006, and the school literally was closing. I heard the parents that I was taking care of at the time saying, we got to leave early. We're picking up our kids, or we got to be home because our kids are being dropped off. And I'm like, you're joking, right? Because there's no snow on the ground. But yeah, that's a thing around here. And other parts of the country that are not used to seeing anything like ice and that, like in the Midwest and the South, just sending lots of prayers and good vibes to those people there. So look, it's February. It's the middle of the month. We're on the other side of the middle of the month. Things, the weeks and the days just seem like they're falling off the calendar. And so we're coming off the heels of the holidays. And if you kind of think of this as a trend, October was Halloween, and then we had in November Thanksgiving, and then we had Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, any other the holiday celebrations in December. Then we had New Year's, and then what's that holiday called between New Year's and Valentine's Day? Do you remember that one? What is that one? That one, oh yeah, Super Bowl, right? That's a holiday. No doubt about that. There's a big call, people saying that on the Monday after Super Bowl, that should be declared a holiday so people can recover. Then we have Valentine's, and then we have St. Patty's Day. And so there's this momentum building. And yes, with COVID, the holidays definitely are looking different, but the behaviors, we start to look at the behaviors, and those behaviors we look at, are they serving our health or taking away? And that will have a direct impact on the expression of your immune system and how well your immune system works or how well it doesn't work. And so tonight is all about boosting your immune system in 21 days in 2021. So who's with me? That now more than ever, we need to make sure that we're strengthening our body, making sure we're making great choices to help support our health and wellness, and do everything we can to support our immune system and body for optimal function. Who here wants that? Because that's what this talk is all about. We're going to be exposing those lifestyle behaviors and activities that will pull us away from our high level health and wellness, that'll put us in a state of disease, illness, symptoms, and leave ourselves exposed and vulnerable. And right now, you want to be making sure you're doing everything you can humanly do possible to help strengthen your body and immune system. So tonight, you're going to discover the most natural, most effective, and most powerful ways to keep your immune system strong. And when your immune system is strong, the rest of your body will be strong also. Who wants that? Because what we don't want is illness. We don't want disease. We don't want symptoms. We don't want those interruptions in life taking us away from those things that we want to do, that we love to do. We want to make sure that we're there for our family. We want to make sure that we show up and we're productive at work, that we're adding value to the lives of people that that are in a circle. So we want to make sure that we focus on that. So that's what tonight is all about. And now more than ever, this is the topic that is out there, the immune system and our health. Because if you think about it, come March, we're less than a month away since the lockdowns have been in place, since our lifestyle has radically changed. And just look back over the last year and think about, what did you learn? How did you grow over this past year? And think about the impact of all these radical changes have had on your life. Because one thing is certain, more and more people are showing up in our office more sick, falling apart more, and just not living as healthy as they should. So what used to be okay now in the COVID scenario is not okay, because we're under more stress in new and different ways, and it's all amplified. And this has a direct impact on our immune system expression and our health expression. Okay, so let's, we're going to pull up here and get the PowerPoint set up. And let's get into this, because I'm fired up. I know you all are fired up, and we're going to get going on this. So, isn't this so appropriate? You go places, temperature checks, you got masks, social distancing. Boy, after a year, how have things changed? Think about where we were last February. Think about where we're at today. So I'm going to be sharing effective strategies here to help you not only survive February and illnesses, but also throughout the year, keep your body healthy and strong. So if you are a member of the practice, you probably already have a copy of this book. Let this be an anchor in the foundation of things that we're teaching. And I have you consider rereading this book, or read it if you haven't for the first time. I joke and say, if you're having trouble to sleep at night, make sure you pick up the book and start reading it. You'll fall asleep easy. But all kidding aside, we lay out the fundamental belief systems for people to be as healthy as possible. And your actions and behaviors are shaped by what you believe. So if you have a faulty belief system about your health and are behaving that way, you may end up in an unintended target for your health. So if we want to change our outcomes, we must change our behaviors. In order to change our behaviors, the belief system. So this has some key points in it. And then all the way on chapter 8, it has a high level view of activities that you can start doing and stop doing to help promote health within your body. If you're new here this evening, reach out to the office. I'll make sure I sign a copy so that you get a copy. And if you're a current practice member and you want to share this information with somebody you care about, let us know. We will sign a copy and get that sent out to a loved one or a family member. So if you don't know, I'm originally from Michigan. If we use the map right up here, okay, that is, the hand is the map. That's where I'm from, is Bay City. This is the thumb and then the index finger meet right through there. And born and raised there, moved out to Virginia here in 2006. I want to share a story about Ron, because Ron inspired me to learn as much as I could about health and wellness. So Ron is my father. My dad is a recovering alcoholic. He will be sober this Friday. So tomorrow actually is his 40th anniversary of sobriety. So how cool is that? My dad grew up in an alcoholic family. He served right after high school. He was drafted into the Marine Corps. He served over in Vietnam for a year. He was on the front lines over in Vietnam, Marble Mountain, and my dad was a smoker. So as you can imagine, his lifestyle growing up, there was a lot of stress and unhealthy lifestyle habits and behavior. And what I want to share with you is I remember the day when my brother and I came home from school. Both of my parents' cars were gone. And that was just odd. It was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And come to find out, I was about 14 and my brother would have been about 11. And we found out that my dad had his first heart attack at the age of 42. And so at the age of 42, unfortunately, with his heart attack, he was in the hospital, but it was a very sad day. Thank God for modern medicine and for the life-saving capabilities of modern medicine. And it kept him alive. But what really impacted me as a 14-year-old, this was, my dad was, and still is, he is my hero. And that made a big impression, seeing the Superman of a hero laying in bed with wires and tubes and things like that inside of him. So I resolved on that day to commit and turn my pain into a passion and purpose, and to discover what it took to be as healthy as possible. What were the habits? What were the behaviors of the healthiest people on the planet? And I wanted to make sure that I learned about that, because I wanted to avoid that situation with my kids. And I'm blessed to have two beautiful children, Kalista and Kyson. Kalista is in 5th grade, she's 10, and Kyson is 7, he's in 2nd grade. And I want to make sure that I have a quality of life for them, not only right now as we're growing up and being a good leader for them and establishing good lifestyle habits for them, but then also as we continue to go through the aging process and later years in life, is I want them to stay functional. I want to be at my best here. And so that moment really inspired me, and it drove me to go to chiropractic school and continue learning about the best health and wellness information that I could be sharing with others to help inspire them on their journey to help them achieve their high level health and wellness and achieve their health and wellness goals. So let me just pause here for a moment, because I think I might have had a subluxation in something that I was clicking here. And so I should be able to share this screen and then pull up the slideshow, and then we should be good. So there we go. All right, so that's a little bit about me and my passion, and I'll share my why, an additional why at the end of this presentation. So I have a question for you. And I want to let you know is that the more that you engage in this topic right here, the more that you're dropping nuggets or questions or raising your hand during this this conversation that we're having, the more that you're going to get out of it. It's no different than when I go to the gym and I see somebody that is lifting the weight, doing the work, sweating, panting, and then I see another individual over in the corner just socializing. We know that person A is going to get the best results over person B. And the same thing here. And if I could share with you, one of the key points is when it comes to high level health and wellness is you got to do the work, and you got to do the work every single day. Nobody's going to do the work for you. So if I can be a candle and inspire you to change 1 or 2 or maybe 3 things over the next 30 days until our next wellness webinar, I've done my job. And tonight I want you to see what is that one thing. And at the end of this talk, I'm going to ask you to drop that into the chat box. What is the one thing that you're going to be walking away that you're either going to start doing or stop doing to help accentuate your health and wellness goals? So my question to you is, as we engage on this, are Americans healthy? What do you think? Are Americans healthy? Okay. Well, here's the truth of the and the reality of it is that COVID-19 stressed the system. If you ever want to see how strong a system is, stress it and start seeing where it's breaking down. Start to see where the gaps are, where you're exposed. Start to see where the breaks in the foundation are. Because COVID revealed an ugly truth that we as Americans are not healthy. And the people in the world are not healthy either. And with this exposure, it has left a big information gap in people's knowledge about what it is to be truly healthy. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of chaos. There's a lot of misinformation being spread. And it's left people confused and not taking any action, feeling stuck, or taking the wrong action that's going to drive them away from their ultimate health and wellness goals. So today and this evening is about revealing some clarity here about what true health really is and how you can be an active participant and be empowered to start taking steps today towards high level health and wellness here. So when we take a look at the data, is there's something that you cannot argue with, and this is coming out, and there's always new data coming out more and more, but what it's revealing is that this virus is very contagious, but it's dangerous to a select group of people. So if you take a look at, these are the chronic conditions patients that are hospitalized with COVID-19 present with. And what we've discovered is those that seem to have the most severe impact of whether it is, whether you end up getting infected, whether you become symptomatic, whether you become hospitalized, go to the ICU, or dying from this, is dependent on some factors here. And the most dangerous, the population that is most susceptible to this, and it's the most dangerous to this, is the immunocompromised. I'm sure you have heard that terminology out there. And this is just from New York. The stats have been updated. It's more compelling. We see it across the board in other countries. But the deal is that these are the leading comorbidities associated with those that have the most severe symptoms with COVID: hypertension, diabetes, hyperlipidemia, coronary artery disease, renal disease, dementia, COPD, cancer, AFib, heart failure. And we all know what this is. This is metabolic syndrome. And this is a lifestyle disease. Raise your hand or say yes if you get that. This is not a genetic disorder. You see, cystic fibrosis is a genetic disorder. These people are genetically programmed to be immunocompromised. It's a breathing disorder. What I'm talking about is a metabolic disorder based on lifestyle. And it's not a lifestyle, it's really a death style on Americans and people around the world that are moving people away from high-level health and wellness. And it's your choices. It's your choices that you make that lead to the outcomes. And that's all based on your beliefs about what true health and high-level health is. So what we learned by stressing the system with chronic disease, metabolic syndrome is a chronic condition, it's a lifestyle disease, is that it shifted the chronic lifestyle disease off to the side, and then we have an acute crisis on our hands. And you know what? Is there, I'm going to ask you, is there a cure for chronic disease? And the answer is no. And what does modern medicine do for these patients? They manage it. And how do they manage it? They manage it through pharmaceuticals, lifelong pharmacological management. And so now we have a chronic disease that's been exposed, and now it's become an acute crisis because of this thing called COVID. We stressed the system, and what we found was how weak our health is. So the question is, are we masking the real problem? You see that we've been told that we must be masking up. But my question is, we've been told to mask up in order to prevent us from being sick. But what we forgot was we were already sick. So let me ask you, what do you think? Why are we in a health crisis today? Go ahead, put it up in the chat box. What do you think? Why are we in a health crisis today? And there's going to be many great answers here. And what I found is that all the answers that you're giving are absolutely true. But we could categorize these into 3 different categories. And we're going to get to that in just a moment. Because there's a cause to the effect, right? There's always a cause to the effect. And if we don't get to the root of the problem, then we're never going to figure out the solution moving forward. So we spend $2 trillion, that's with a T, $2 trillion a year on our healthcare system. This is year after year. That's the burden on our economy. But think about the burden and the quality of life with yourself or with your loved ones. This is why if it seems like I'm yelling, I'm a bit passionate. I'm a bit pissed off and I'm a bit passionate about this, if you can't tell already. It fired up. And I'm sure you are too. Because after all this right here, Our health outcomes are very sad these days. After spending all this, this is what we've come up with. Stay at home and wash your hands, no hugging and high fives, hope and pray, WTF. I know that's what you're thinking. This is crazy out there. And somehow we've been led to believe that we've been in this pandemic or these lockdowns or having us do all these things for just about a year. And now all of a sudden, a vaccine or vaccines are rushed to the market when it normally takes 10 to 12 years for a vaccine to go through safety and efficacy protocols. We all of a sudden think that we get this injection and then by tomorrow, everything's back to normal the way it was. Well, we're not here to go in down that road. That's a conversation for another day. But what we are going to be talking about that more than ever is how you can be an active participant in your overall health and wellness, how you can be empowered to be proactive and start doing things and consistently doing them to build high-level health and wellness. And when I talk about WTF here, it's where's the focus? And if you're thinking about something otherwise, I don't know what you were thinking about. But where is the focus? We must shift the focus. If we want our immune system to be bulletproof, if we want our immune system to be as strong as possible, we must shift the focus from the strength of the virus, which we have absolutely no control over, to the strength of the host. Who sees that? Who's with me on that? Because this is where we start to get tactical and practical on things that we can do. Because this boils down to on every visit you come into the office. Because how you're presenting has everything to do with what you've been doing in between your chiropractic adjustments. So the question is where is the focus? We're going to talk now about the third tier healthcare level. This is where we put our focus, but I want you to see that there's 3 tiers to our healthcare system. Number 1, the first tier is the treatment of disease. And I love our medical people and God bless them. They are kind, compassionate, caring, hardworking individuals on the front line, and their sole focus is to keep people from dying. That is their goal here. The next level of healthcare, the next tier, is what's known as the prevention of disease. And the prevention of disease, the goal here is to help prevent the disease from manifesting. This would be wash your hands, no hugs or high fives, social distancing, mask it up, okay? And I think that we're a bit confused at where a vaccine would fit on this tier. So all the data that I've been receiving, that I've been reading, and I've been looking into this deep because I've had more and more patients coming to me asking about this. This question is boiling up. And again, this is another subject for another time. But what I understand is what the trials have measured with those 2 current vaccines out there is, number 1, it does not prevent the disease. And number 2, it does not prevent transmissibility. But what they did measure and why they found it to be successful is it's to lessen the symptoms of COVID. That's what it does. So make sure that you're continuing to learn, be a learner. Make sure you're continuing to read. Make sure you're continuing to understand and advocate for your own health and wellness. Because you got to read between those lines, because we might confuse it as prevention. So although prevention and treatment are vital parts of our healthcare system and make sense and are extremely vital at the appropriate time, like think about the treatment of disease for my dad. Thank God we had life-saving capabilities for him, or otherwise I would not be able to enjoy him in our time together. But neither one of prevention of disease, treatment of disease does anything to promote the overall health of the individual. Pause and think there on that. Interesting, right? So the question is that what can we be doing today to actually promote health? How could we be proactive? How can we treat this like a bank account and making deposits, and to make sure that those deposits exceed what our withdrawals are? Because we don't want to go into a deficit. We want to have abundance when it comes to health. And it's about making people stronger, and it's about making you stronger. See, that's when we're going to get into this tonight about the stop doing, start doing, the tactics, the strategies, the best practices. Because when somebody comes into this office, the first thing that we have to do is start to slow down the lifestyle, the chronic lifestyle behaviors that have been promoting disease, illness, and symptoms. Then we need to stop it and then pivot into then promoting lifestyle behaviors that add life to years and years to life, that help us reach high level health and wellness, so that we can get rid of something that you came in with and get back to doing the things that you need to do, like work and being there for the family, so you can get back to doing the things that you want to do and love to do, like the sports or the working out, the exercise, any of your hobbies, so on and so forth. So that's the third tier of healthcare, is that where we are focused on is the promotion of health. So all our recommendations that we ever give you is to promote health. This isn't about survival, it's about thrival. This is about optimizing your health potential. So we're going to get into the 3 reasons that we're in this healthcare crisis, and we must start with personal responsibility. And remember, I forgot to mention this, but as I'm sharing this information, I want you to think. I don't want you to think like me, but I want you to think. I want to challenge your thinking. So if I've done my job tonight, I'm going to get you to think in ways that you haven't been thinking, to expand your mind and be open to other possibilities that are out there. So the 3 reasons that we're in a healthcare crisis: number 1, personal responsibility. So my question is who is responsible for your health? Who is it? Is it your spouse? Is it your significant other? Mom or dad? Is it your children? Who is it? Is it your lawyer or accountant that's responsible for your health? Your medical doctor? McDonald's or Starbucks? Is it the CDC? Is it the WHO? Is it Big Pharma? Is it Big Food? Like, who is responsible for your health? And yes, if you answered you are responsible for your health, bottom line. Now, take a deep breath on that one, okay? Because that can be a lot to handle. You might be thinking, wow, that can be overwhelming. Here's the good news is. The good news is this, is that you have an opportunity to shape your health outcomes for the future. And this is where the research of epigenetics comes in, because it's our lifestyle behaviors that will turn genes on or shut them off. And we're going to get into living in chronic lifestyle stress that is unnatural to our body today, and the impacts that modern life stressors have on our health expression, and what we can do to become more adaptable and resilient to those stressors, so they don't overwhelm our bodies, shift our physiology into a disease and illness and symptomatic state, leading to disability and premature death. So we understand now who is responsible for our health. We are. Ultimately, we are. And I like that personally, because now it gives me an opportunity to take some action. What we want to make sure is we're taking the right action. All right, next. What is the next reason we're in this healthcare crisis? There's a big information gap about what true health is. There's a misunderstanding here. We've been led to believe that this is health. It's a toggle switch. We think of it as one day we're healthy. So let's say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, I'm healthy. And then Friday, boom, sick, right? Like sick. What happens normally in February this time of year? Flu. Like, what happened to all the flu cases? Very interesting this year, okay? Start looking at the data. It's very interesting. But we toggle between healthy and sick. We think one day we're healthy, the next day we're sick, and then on Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday we're sick, and then on Monday, whoo, we're ready to get back at it. Who knows what I'm talking about here? We think of it like a toggle switch, but it's more like this. The truth is that most of us are toggling between sick and not sick. And there's a big difference between not sick and healthy. Because not sick means that you're asymptomatic, symptom-free, you're not expressing any symptoms, but you could have an underlying condition that one moment, then you're sick. And see, this is where the immunocompromised live. We keep toggling between sick and not sick, sick and not sick. But few reach high-level health and wellness. And there's some big reasons for that. And that's why we have to work harder than ever before to be as healthy as possible. Like the concepts I'm teaching are very simple. I want you to see that. But they're not easy to put into practice throughout the day and do it consistently over time to continue to build more and more health. But this is the immunocompromised. And who did we say COVID is most dangerous to? It's the immunocompromised. Are you starting to see it? And then we got the third reason here. I'm going to save that to the end. So wait for that. It's the most important. If I forget, somebody drop a line in the chat box and remind me. I'll tell you later. So let's take a look here at where you are at on this wellness paradigm. So we have our neutral point in the center. And if we look at the screen to the left, there's signs, symptoms, disability. Think about that direction. 0 is the center, -10 is the far left. And then you got awareness, education, and growth, the far right, +10. So where are you at? If you're feeling bold enough, put it in the chat box. Where are you? There's nothing like making a declaration about where you are so that you can be empowered to take steps moving forward. Meet yourself where you're at and tell the truth. Don't lie to yourself. Be honest, because this is the path forward here. Where are you at? What direction are you heading? Just go back the last year since this whole COVID chaos has been in play. And how's your lifestyle been? What direction are you at? Are you healthier today than you were a year ago? And yes, I know that there are many here tonight that can say yes to that. And I also know there's many here and many in our practice that would have to say a resounding no to that, because there's been more stress and pressures and chaos, uncertainty that's leading to this one emotion that will be the worst virus that you would ever encounter, and it's the virus of fear. False evidence appearing real, where that you are so fearful that it changes and shifts your physiology and moves you away from high-level health and wellness. Who knows what I'm talking about when you're in a state of fear? And it doesn't have to be that way. So I'm going to show you some opportunities here to grow beyond that. But you see, the medical paradigm is the treatment. You look at the disability, the symptoms, and the sign. When you're out of pain, when you feel good, boom, you're released from care. In our office, the wellness paradigm, it's about awareness, education. That's why you're here tonight. That's why we do these monthly webinars. That's why we do Facebook Live Q&A. That's why we educate so much every week when you're in the office about something, all things health. It's about helping you grow in your health and wellness potential, knowing what to start doing and stop doing. And I know that you're here tonight because you want to grow and move more towards that +10. So I want you to be thinking about, because you're going to post it in the chat before we're done here, about what is that next step for you. What is the one thing, the one takeaway that you're either going to start doing or stop doing to promote more health in your body? See, body signals, they're the symptoms. And the body signals and the symptoms are the ice above the water. And the root cause of those symptoms, the cause of the effect, is underneath the water. The symptoms are simply the tip of the iceberg. So by the time we have symptoms, the time our body is expressing symptoms, we've already gone down the line of a chronic condition building up within our system. Who gets that? That's a big point right there to get. By the time you have symptoms, the problem's already been manifesting. So we want to take a look at this, and there's some big thoughts and big ideas around this, is that, when we take a look at sick and getting sick and things like that, is I'm going to have you consider as you don't get sick, you do sick. And what do I mean by that? Is that it's your lifestyle behaviors that cause your body either to express health or to express sickness. And we can be running our bodies down so much in a lot of different areas and categories. We're going to get into that. It's typically thoughts, traumas, and toxins. And it can start to impact your overall health expression. So think of this as that sickness, our body has an immune system that is there to deal with sickness. And think about like a fever. Like having a fever is a healthy expression of the body trying to cook some sort of microbe so it can get back to homeostasis and return to health. Also, I want you to be thinking about your immune system is like a car battery, and your immune system is very energetically exhausting. And we're going to be referencing that down the road, is that your overall energy of your body produces the output. So when your car battery is low, think about all the other systems in your body are going to have a drag, and your immune system is very important for fighting things. So if that defense system is down, you're going to become more exposed and your immune system is going to be compromised. And like we said, you don't do sick, you don't get sick, you do sick. Your body is smart, your body's intelligent, and it wants to be healthy. So we look at your health like a bonfire. What are the 3 things necessary for a bonfire? Well, you need fuel. So this is what we reference, how you eat. You need air and oxygen. This is how you move. And then the spark is then how you think. And so if you're missing any 3 of these things, you're not going to have a bonfire. This is your energy. This is your light. This is your heat. This is your high level health and wellness right here. And we're going to put this together because what we find is that your health compounds over time. Eating well, moving well, thinking well over time builds high level health and wellness. Here's something to consider is that the longer you're healthy, the healthier you become. The longer you're sick, the sicker you become. This has a compounding effect over time. So just remember, it's one choice at a time, done consistently, over time, leads to big results. So we're going to move into then, what is it? How can you be an active participant in your health and wellness? What are the do's? What are the don'ts? We all love a to-do list, right? Well, some of you, your big takeaway tonight is going to be a stop doing list. And then for others, you're going to have a middle column that is a slowing down. So it's like the green light is go. We got the yellow, proceed with caution, and then the red, like stop that. So I want you to keep a list, drop nuggets as you hear these along the way, share what you're learning, because what you're sharing, what you're learning, other people are going to learn from you also. And this whole process about high-level health and wellness, I want to let you know, is give yourself some grace, give yourself some space. This is about progress, not perfection. It's about what you could take, what steps you could do today. And you know what? If you misstep here, you misstep there, win or learn. That's our motto around here. You're either going to win or you're going to learn something. And don't let the misstep be a missed opportunity to learn something for your overall health and wellness. And I have to say, as we get into these categories, we're going to break it down into eating well, moving well, thinking well. By far, the number one category of stress that I see people coming into the office with that is ruining and decimating their immune system comes down to mental stress. We're going to get into that. And so, but first, before we get into the mental stress, we're going to start to dive into the fuel and look at how you eat. And what you eat, you become. And we have required nutrients. There are required nutrients we need from the healthy food that we eat to nourish the cells. This is required for your cell to function properly and to be able to fight infection. And then there's essential nutrients And these are the things that we must have so that we are sufficient in these nutrients so our body can function properly and avoid toxicities, because there's two things that move you away from high level health and wellness. There's either a deficiency in something or a toxicity. So if something's not working for you, think about it through that lens. Where is your body toxic and where is it deficient? And then we want to be consuming whole foods. We want foods that are coming from nature. And so these are the unprocessed foods that are in their natural state. And what we want to do is minimize and eliminate the toxic food burden, the pesticides, the herbicides, the insecticides, the glyphosate, the Roundup that is just destroying your immune system. All this is a burden. And remember that car battery? It starts to draw the energy from that battery and weakens your body and immune system. So what we recommend is the direction of unlimited vegetables. So veggies are where it's at. That's the foundation here. Then abundant lean natural meats. And when I'm talking about this, very specifically grass-fed beef, not the corn-fed beef. I'm talking about grass-fed beef, organic chicken, wild-caught fish, not farm-raised. Some fruits, nuts, and seeds, and limit the starch and no sugar. Sugar is one of those things that will decimate your immune system. When you consume processed sugar, your immune defenses are paralyzed for 3 hours. And that sugar builds up inflammatory responses into the body that causes your physiology to move away from health. So when you're eating and you're looking at your plate, I want you to consider the portions like this, where you're asking, where's the plants, where's the fat, and where's the protein? And so as a lifestyle, is that I like the paleo lifestyle. Now, there's a lot of misnomers about the paleo lifestyle, but the paleo lifestyle starts with the veggies as the foundation. Then you can put some lean proteins, healthy lean proteins, some healthy fats, and some minimal fruit in there. That's where we're getting rid of the gluten, the sugar, the dairy, the corn, the soy, the things that are more inflammatory to the body that cause havoc and cause problems in your immune system. So here are the do's. So what I want you to do is double down on the non-starchy veggies out there. And in case you need a little bit of a reference, I can send this to you if you would like. But some of those starchy veggies would be like beans and butternut squash and chickpeas, corn, lentils, parsnips, peas, potatoes, sweet potatoes, and yams. The non-starchy ones are going to be like your artichokes, your asparagus, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, celery. I could go on and on in here, but I just want to give you a couple examples of what that means, because the more starch that the veggie has, the higher the carb and then the sugar in there. Some fruit, you want to do a ratio about 2 veggies to every fruit. It's about a 2-to-1 ratio right there. Yes, fruit is healthy. There's certain fruits that are lower in sugar and that are going to serve your immune system more than others. We can drill down on that also if that's some more information you want. But as we talked about, the meat, the poultry, the fish, grass-fed beef, organic chicken, wild-caught fish, range-fed eggs, okay, natural fats, avocados, coconut oil, avocado oils, things like cashew butter, pistachios, cashews, sunflower seed butter, those type of things, some nuts and seeds, and then water. And how much water should you have? Well, half of your body weight in ounces. So if somebody's weighing 100 pounds, then 50 ounces of water, for an example. And here's what you want to stop doing right here. And for some of you, it may not be a complete stop doing, it might be slow down first here. And then as we get into then moving it over to the don't, but it's the refined carbohydrates. It's the things in the pantry that call your name at 9 o'clock at night. Does anybody else have those voices go off in your head that call you to the pantry at about 9 o'clock at night? Yeah, I'm raising my hand right here, okay? That's my weak spot that I had to take control of. Because I do really good throughout the day. Then right at the end of the night, then it just seems like a really good idea. But also cereals and grains and crackers and cookies, any of the sweeteners, even the artificial sweeteners like Sweet and Low, Equal, Splenda, the bad vegetable oils. Okay, and these are things that would fall under the good category would be olive oil, avocado, palm oil that's sourced properly, and then coconut oils. But anything else, canola oil, corn oil, vegetable oil, like those type of things are those cause heart disease, and they cause a lot of inflammation, and they leave you immunocompromised. Then we got dairy products. Dairy, anything from cow's milk is very acidic. Sodas, juice, alcohol carries a lot of sugar, plus it's very acidic. And sugar and immunity on this is that the sugar, the molecular compound of sugar and the molecular compound of vitamin C, they compete for the same cell receptor. And so the cell has a higher affinity for sugar, meaning that sugar is going to be the priority over the vitamin C. And so when you're consuming a lot of sugar, it blocks vitamin C from getting into your cells, which is going to make your body immunocompromised. So think about what we just went through. What's the one thing? What's your one thing? Where's the one area you know you could be doing better at? And also, if you're like a rock star right here and you're crushing it, celebrate and recognize yourself for what you're doing. You're on point. We got to remember, celebrate and recognize our wins. Supplements, I want you to know this. Yes, I am a proponent of supplementation, not in lieu of a healthy nutrition style and the food that you're eating, but to complement, because that our foods are deficient in vital minerals and nutrients. The toxic burdens are more than ever before. Like I mentioned, glyphosate, that's a Roundup chemical that they spray the crops with, especially with GMOs. And then the pace of life, modern life is unnaturally stressful. So we need extra help to support our body to function properly, especially our immune system. So these are the ones that I recommend for your immune system. These are the foundation. And so number one, omega-3 fatty acids and fish oil. If your body is deficient here, you're going to have an imbalance in omega-6 and omega-3s, and it's going to leave your body compromised, your immune system compromised, just like when vitamin D, you have a deficiency there. It's very clear in the research that those that get exposed to COVID that have the most severe symptom across the board, they are deficient in omega-3 fatty acids and vitamin D. And then we need probiotics to help support our gut flora because stress destroys it. Processed foods destroy it. Sugar destroys it. So we need to rebuild, and maintain a healthy microbiome. Whole food supplements, think about multivitamin, multimineral. This comes from a whole food source. Vitamin C is a great thing to be supplementing with, along with zinc and selenium these days are very powerful immune boosting compounds. Now, some additional things, colloidal silver, think about it's a broad spectrum antimicrobial, but it's for healing wounds. Garlic is really great in recovering from colds and flus. Remember, the coronavirus that's found in the common cold. That's been around for years. Elderberry strengthens the immune system, and it's especially effective with upper respiratory infections. And then ginger, that's great detoxer and anti-inflammatory. I love ginger in my tea throughout the day. And then ginseng, antibacterial, antiviral benefits. So I know there's many of you here. I was like, all right, doc, just give me the list. What supplements do I need? those are the best ones that we recommend to help boost your immune system and keep it strong, not only now, but throughout the year and then the years moving forward. So now going to air and how you move. So when it comes to movement, we need to think of movement as a three-legged stool. Is that movement would be some cardio component, some strength component, and stretching. And so I want you to grade yourself and how well you're doing in all three of those categories. How has your life shifted? How has your nutrition shifted? How has your supplement regimen shifted? How has your movement and exercise routine shifted over the past year? I've seen all ends of the spectrum, people that were in rhythm and exercising, now all of a sudden their gym was shut down and they haven't pivoted. Or I've seen people that now all of a sudden they're on an airplane every week, and then now they had time and space open up in their schedule where they could start exercising, but their muscles and joints have been so deconditioned that they overdid it, and then now they caused an injury. Where are you on that spectrum? Are you sitting all day? Are you standing all day? We recommend standing over sitting. Minimize the amount of sitting, but when you're standing, you're not moving. And movement is a required nutrient. Just like any mineral that we talked about, movement is required for healthy cells. It will reduce your stress also. And then when your body is tired, listen here, when your body is tired, when your body is run down, when your body is fatigued, this is not the time to go full throttle with your workouts. Give your body some space to recover. Lean into the sleep and the rest. Consider napping midday if you're not. Take rest breaks. Your body will thank you later. Remember what we talked about from that energetic system, the car battery? Is if you're already exhausted and you put full throttle into this, it's going to drain and deplete your immune system more and likely make your symptoms worse and take longer and more time to recover. Another great thing about movement is it shifts your body from a fight and flight stress response. That's the sympathetic stress response that most of us find us in, and it shifts it over to the parasympathetic, and that's where rest and repair lives. So a lot of great, all right, everybody knows the benefit of exercise. As we talk about this, have you ever regretted doing an exercise? Don't you feel amazing? Like, I get it where it's dark, it's cold out, and it's difficult sometimes. It's challenging to get the exercise in, but there's a way. We can get creative with it. But don't you always feel better once you're done? You may not have wanted to do it. You might have went into the exercise kicking and screaming. I get it. I've been there. But at the end, you leaned in, you submitted to that, and then you just went for it, and then your body thanks you later. So know this is that exercise is a required nutrient. It's going to help dampen down the stress hormones in your body, and it's going to lift up the healing hormones. It's going to help you not only feel better, but your mind is going to be clearer. You're going to think better. How many times have you been stuck in some stinking thinking, and then you went for a walk, you went for a run, you got moving, you stretched, you did some yoga, Pilates, some HIIT training, whatever it is. And then you get out on your bike, you're cycling, what have you, and you just feel amazing after. And it's very important to your immune system because it helps push the toxins and the things that your immune system and your lymph system, it's like the janitorial system of the body, is trying to get rid of those toxins so your body can function to an optimum. Helps with circulation. So when it's time to rest, rest. Yes, exercising too much can actually dampen your immune system. It can drag your immune system and make you more vulnerable. Listen to your body. PAIN stands for pay attention inside. Now, you remember that acronym? This is not the time, no pain, no gain. All right, who needs to let that go? All right, this is about listening to your body. You do a workout and you have some symptoms, then either skip a workout, go back a level of the workout, or then and keep the same level of workout and see if you get the same symptoms next time. That's what you want to be doing. And then timing, make sure that you're getting proper rest and sleep. Give yourself some rest throughout the day if that's an option for you. Even a 10 to 15 minute nap. I like to, about 15 minutes, 17 minutes is my sweet spot. I know you all have a sweet spot. That's my power nap. I put on some earbuds. I listen to some a guided meditation, shut off the lights, decompress, and give my body a chance to rejuvenate to keep going strong throughout the day. Research shows how it improves brain function and increases mental capacity by doing those things. So some of the best performers in the world, that's one of their strategies. Now sleep here, many people limp in this area. But what's required by your body is a minimum of 7 hours of uninterrupted sleep. If you're getting less than 7 hours of sleep a night, your body already shifts into a sympathetic fight or flight stress response. And no, you can't make it up. You can't sleep 2 hours today, do 14 hours the next day. It doesn't work like that. The research shows that. And then eat fast. See, a lot of these behaviors compound on one another. Anybody ever been guilty staying up late, watching stuff on your phone or watching stuff on TV of just mindless numbing when you could be sleeping or reading something positive or filling your mind with some positivity and encouragement? And think about your posture in that moment. And think about in that moment, you're probably thinking about going to the pantry and getting those potato chips, the cookies, and you have the best intentions. All right, tonight I'm only going to do 3 cookies. Then you pull the 3 aside, you put those 3 back in the pantry, and you grab the rest of the box and finish the box. Who's been there? Okay. So all these things start to compound, but if we're cutting corners here, it's going to impact our immune system. And remember, those that don't have time for wellness always find time for illness. But I know you guys are finding time for wellness, and I want to recognize you because I know you're an action taker. That's why you're here tonight. You want to learn the things that you can be doing outside of your chiropractic appointments to help your adjustments hold better, to achieve your health goals and your high-level health and wellness, and what to stop doing that's screwing up the work that we're doing in the office. Who's there? Okay, Spark. This is your thought life. Okay, your thinking and your thoughts are like a garden. And for most people these days, need a checkup from the neck up. Who's there? Who's stuck in some stinking thinking? More and more of my clients, they need a hug. We're doing a virtual hug. It's not really appropriate these days, but people need hugs. When we start to think about what the costs are of COVID over the past year and the impact on economy and jobs and people's well-being, the stress at home, the abuse that is occurring, the working from home and having kids at home at the same time, the uncertainty, the fear that we're living in, all this builds up and affects here. In my opinion, you get this one right, everything else flows. And these work together. If you go out for a run, if you're like me, you go out for a run, it'll clear your mind. If I start reading something that's inspirational and it expands my thinking, I have more energy. If I'm saying my daily affirmations and I get up and I do my hour of power at 5 a.m. in the morning, when I do my exercise and I do my gratitude journaling, I meditate, I have a green drink, I send a daily deposit to my wife of honor, love, encouragement. I write a note to my kids, Cleesta and Kyson, of some sort of encouragement and telling them how much I love them. And then I read something that's inspiring and I learn something new. That is my hour of power to put my body in a state of power and give me focus and direction so that when life happens, when the family wakes up at 6 a.m., everything starts going sideways and it's chaos. I know that I'm doing everything I can to put myself in power, to strengthen my immune system, strengthen my body, get my mind straight so I can handle what's coming at me throughout the day. So maybe your one thing is to start getting up a little bit earlier and do some more self-care for yourself. The most important appointment that you're going to make is with yourself every single day, because from you flows everything else. When you're up, your family's up. When you're down, your family's down. When you're up, work is up. When you're down, work is down. When you're up, your health is up. When you're down, your health is down. Who's with me? Say yes if you get that. So this, what you think about, you bring about, and it has a direct impact. It's called psychoneuroimmunology. There's been lots of research done on this and your thoughts and the expression of your physiology of when you're in a gratitude state, when you're in a loving state, versus then when you're in anger and when you're in a guilt and you're in shame and you're in fear and all those negative emotions. This all is the cause to the effect of your health today. You seeing what I'm saying? You see how this applies to your life? What's the one thing? I know that as I'm speaking to you, there's a voice on the inside that is calling you to something, and it may not even make sense to you. Something is pulling you in a direction. And if you have a piece of paper and a pen, I implore you, I encourage you to write it down, no matter how silly it is or how much you don't understand it right now. There's this inner voice and wisdom guiding you right now. You're hearing something here that is going to shape the health outcome in the future, not only in your life, but your family's. So what is it? What is your one takeaway? You see, our premise here is that healthy is normal. Sick is abnormal. Sick has become the new normal. We think that sick is normal, and that's not true. Your body is smart. Your body is healthy. It's designed to be healthy. It's intelligent. There's an innate wisdom that flows through your body. Viruses have been around humankind ever since humans have been around, period. There are viruses that are in your body that are not causing disease. They're, in fact, helping you express high-level health and wellness. There are microbes in your body, bacteria, that there's actually more bacterial cells in your body and your makeup than there are human cells. I bet you didn't know that. So in the microbial world, it's about a synergy. It's about adaptability. There's never going to be getting rid of something. This is not possible. This is about putting our body in as healthy and normal and natural state as function every single day, making sure your nervous system is functioning at optimum. If you want to have a healthy life, you got to have a healthy nervous system. And if you want to have a healthy nervous system, you have to have a healthy spine. Your spine is a suit of armor. The suit of armor protects your brain, that's your skull, and your brain stem, and your spinal cord. That's your spine. And out from that flows your peripheral nerves that go to every organ, tissue, cell. And what we've already discussed, that modern life is unnaturally stressful. So when you're under stress, your blood pressure goes up, your heart rate goes up, your muscle tone, you become more tense, your digestive system is downregulated, you have decreased serotonin, which disrupts your happiness and sleep, your sensory systems go up, so you're in potentially more pain, you have more fear and anxiety, you're immunocompromised, your insulin sensitivity goes haywire, your blood sugar goes up, you have a decrease of the HDL, an increase of the LDL, your clotting factors go up, and your sex drive is downregulated. When you're under stress, this is the physiological shift that your body experiences. So when you're under stress, you ever wonder why you're not hungry or you want to eat everything in sight? Do you ever wonder when you're under stress, your sex drive is low? Do you ever wonder that when you're under stress, why you can't sleep properly? This all has to do with your body's physiologic response. And unfortunately, modern life, we live in this stress response. We are in constant fight or flight mode, unless then we get ourselves out of it. And it's through our lifestyle behaviors, the eating well, moving well, thinking well, that can help make that shift. Remember, it's not sick, then healthy. People are toggling between sick and not sick. This is the immunocompromised. This is who COVID is most dangerous to. So the three sources of stress are thoughts, toxins, and traumas. We get the macro trauma, the sports injury, even if it happened decades ago, the concussions, the broken bones, the separations, the sprains and strains. We also get that the car accidents, only 5 miles an hour in a car accident, just a 5-mile-an-hour impact, it start to cause trauma to the body, even if you don't have symptoms. The other one, slips and falls. Like, look, be safe as you're walking outside, especially tomorrow morning. It's supposed to refreeze. It'll probably freeze tonight. Slips and falls on the ice, on slick surfaces, the stairs, and then being born. How many here on this webinar tonight were born? Okay, should see everybody's hand going up. But birth trauma, 8 out of 10 children when they're born are born with trauma in their spine. This is why we make it a point to see whole families in the office and get family members checked. Here is the micro trauma. These are the sneaky traumas. We get how the macro trauma can cause problems in the body, but it's the micro trauma. Anybody own one of these? You might actually be watching this webinar from this. So this can serve us, but it can also be a detriment to our health, depending on how we're actually using it. But we're sitting too much. It's the phone, it's the computers, it's the laptop, the kids learning at home. It's the sitting in the bed with the laptop or on the sofa and the poor posture that is causing spinal trauma. And it's the habituated habits over time that has the biggest detriment. It affects our suit of armor. Our vertebrae protect those delicate nerves. And when there's stress and trauma to it, it over time starts to create a condition called subluxation. And the subluxation is what we locate and detect in our office that is causing interference in the nerve system function. And when your nervous system is not functioning properly, that means that your health potential and your healing potential is diminished because it is your nervous system that carries the health and healing. The subluxation is the joint misalignment that causes soft tissue damage that leads to inflammation and spasms. So those spasms in the muscle, which the muscle's primary job is for a mover, but when there's an injury, your body is very smart. It takes those muscles and it turns them into a strap. Ever wonder why you become stiff or can't move or why muscle spasms? It's helped you prevent from creating a bigger injury. Then all this creates an irritation, loss imbibition. That is the signals and the nutrients are not getting into the spinal discs. It leads to the joint becoming stuck. It elevates your stress hormones. We just uncovered and unpacked what that does, and it leaves you in an immunocompromised state. Take a deep breath. All right. As we wrap up here, subluxation causes nerve irritation and interference, and it affects your body's innate wisdom, your body's innate ability to heal and remain healthy. And it's just like the safety pin. With the safety pin, this is the description of health. Here is your health. Here's your brain, here's your body. It communicates through the nervous system. And when the cycle is flowing and things are communicating well, you can experience ease and high-level health and wellness. But if you have a subluxation, if you are under excessive stress and thoughts, traumas, or toxins, it creates a disconnect. And what happens when there's a miscommunication at work? What happens when there's a miscommunication at home? Chaos, pain, okay? This is the subluxation. So our job is to locate where that subluxation is, correct it through a specific chiropractic adjustment, coach you on lifestyle habits to support your chiropractic care and adjustment so it leads to high-level health and wellness and you achieve your health goals. Who sees that? So how do you know if you have subluxation? Well, if you've been into our office, we've gone through an extensive process in the beginning. We call it our health discovery process, where we start to uncover, what are your concerns? We do a thorough history, going back and talking about traumas. What are your concerns today? What are your body signals or symptoms you're presenting with? And we do objective testing to locate and detect subluxation. We use our hands to move the spine, feel the soft tissues along the spine. We do posture pictures, we take x-rays, and we use instrumentation that can detect how stress is impacting your nervous system. We call it the core score, which we check muscle tension, we check temperature, and the temperature readings correlate with your autonomic nervous system and organs, tissues, and cells, including your immune system. And then we check in on heart rate variability to see your body's adaptability, the resiliency to stress. Remember, wellness simply is your body's ability to adapt readily and appropriately to stress. And we can measure that to see how your car battery is, how charged it is. So that's some really cool tests that we do here in the office. And what do? Well, your plan includes adjusting for recovery. What it is, it's the three-legged stool of best results in the office. It's all about keeping your adjustments in rhythm. And I know many of you that are here, you are action takers, you are learners. You want to make sure you're doing everything that you can and you're following our guidance to a T. And I just want to recognize you for that. Stay consistent with your appointment frequency. And yes, there's going to be times in your life when you're under more stress. And so through our discussion and talking together, that may require an extra adjustment or two in addition to your regular frequency based on the amount of stress your body is going through. Then also we teach about breaking bad habits. And I hope that tonight we created some space in your life for you to gain some awareness at what areas of thinking well, moving well, or eating well that you might be limping and can do better at. And then we start to incorporate specific spinal exercises to help strengthen the muscles, the ligaments, the tendons along the spine to help your adjustments hold better. So as we wrap up here, what I want you to do, I want you to consider what is that one thing? What is that one takeaway? We'd love to hear from you. What is the one thing that you heard today that you're going to start doing? What's the one thing that you're going to stop doing or slow down doing? What was that nugget? What was that? Sometimes it's just one thing. There's one thing on this webinar that you're going to take away that is going to pay 100-fold to your health and wellness outcomes. It's that one thing that made investing your energy and focus on this webinar tonight all worth it. And I'd love to hear from you. So go ahead, post it up in the chat. I'd love to see that. So when you're already doing sick, when your body is run down, when you're exhibiting symptoms, fever, chills, cough, shortness of breath, difficulty breathing, muscle fatigue, like all those body aches, headache, loss of taste, smell, sore throat, congestion, running nose, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, all those type of things associated with doing sick and things, our best practice is rest. Make sure you're not exercising and stressing your body. Try to sleep as much as possible. Recover. Let the battery charge up. Let the immune system go to work. Get extra adjustments. That'll help support the adaptability and resiliency of your nervous system. Limit or avoid stressful situations. Is that possible these days to limit or avoid? I guess you could limit. Is it possible to avoid stressful situations? You probably want to go on an e-fast and shut your phone off and make sure that you stop watching the news for a little bit. Get off social media. Decompress. Who could do better there? Okay. No sugar. Avoid the sugar. Stop the sugar. When inflammation goes down, pain goes down. When inflammation goes up, pain goes up, and it compromises your immune system. And water, water, water. Make sure you're drinking water to flush those toxins through the body. Eat the simple, nutrient-dense foods. It's not complicated. Sometimes we forgot that actually eating whole foods not only better for us, and it can actually be more cost effective because we're not spending money on empty calories or things that just kind of short-term meet a satisfaction. Now consider broth like bone broth, soups, veggie-based smoothies. You want to avoid putting the fruit, so much fruit in the smoothies, because that's another source of sugar. It's sugar feeds infection. Sugar feeds sickness and illness. Make sure you're on point with your supplementation, and it can be appropriate at times to up your vitamin C, up your vitamin D, up your zinc, those type of things when you're in the acute cold, the elderberry, and be patient with your body. Healing takes time, but take action. And sometimes the action that you're going to take is not doing something, which would include like giving your body some rest versus like doubling down or throttling it, when you're not feeling well, just thinking that, some extra Red Bull or coffee or the caffeine will just help keep you going. Now, when it comes to your health, you got to pay the piper at some point. And it's a lot more cost effective. It's going to save you time and energy by doing the work now versus then trying to make up for it later. Hard, easy, or easy, hard. Put in the time now. I promise you the outcomes are worth it. The effort is worth it. Have any of you ever recognized the greater effort you put into something, the greater the reward? Your health is no different. And remember, who's watching you? At least for myself, I know I have my beautiful children, Cleast and Kyson, at home. They're always watching me. I don't have to tell them what to do. They see me. Sometimes I've tripped and fallen a couple times, all right? That's okay. But get back up. Progress, not perfection here. So I'm going to leave you with a couple inspiring stories right here. Bill, I want you to meet Bill and hear his inspiring story about his immune system and some of the impacts that chiropractic healthy living has made in his life right here.
To Dr. Brandon now the last few years, and since I started coming, I have not had any colds, and actually maybe one cold, in a few years, where I used to get like 3 to 6 colds a year, and I was having lots of sinus infection problems, and I don't get those anymore. And it just has made an enormous difference. I come once a month, and doing it maintenance, even when I'm feeling fine, and just coming in has been, I think, the huge difference. So I'm sold, and I'm Dr. Brandon, and I'm a believer. So it's been very grateful for his care.
What's interesting about Bill is that it was clockwork that every month he'd get a sinus infection. And he'd just about get over the sinus infection. Then the next month it would trigger again. And it was a cycle for years. And what we found is by adding the chiropractic care into his visits and his lifestyle, it started to reduce nerve stress that went to his immune system to allow his body to become more adaptable to the stress that it was under. And his immune system started functioning at a higher level. Therefore, he started experiencing better health outcomes there. Let's meet Jess and her family and what's inspired her.
Hi, my name is Jessica Some, and I have started coming to Pure Chiropractic to continue my chiropractic journey, which started actually when I was pregnant with this guy, and we moved. So I needed to find a chiropractor that encompassed care for the whole body and inside and out. And coming to Dr. Brendan, I felt immediately comfortable. He takes a very holistic approach, which I love. I had 2 herniated discs in my back, and throughout the year, I'll get spasms where I can't walk. And in coming to see Dr. Brendan, I am able to maintain bike riding, hanging out with Ben and my 2 other sons. And we actually bring our whole family here. Ben started his chiropractic journey because just growing pains and neck pains and playing electronics. And so we thought it was important for him to get adjusted, and he's been adjusted since he was 3 days old. We continue to come here because we love Dr. Brendan and his staff, and Dr. Travis as well. And they help us be healthy, and we don't get sick as often as we maybe would. And me especially having the herniated discs and teaching, it's important for me to be up and be able to move around, and I'm able to continue all my activities as I'll continue coming to see Dr. Bregman.
Yeah, so good, and it's an honor to see families here and keep the whole family functioning well. And time again, we hear from more and more people, "Yeah, Doc, I just don't get sick. I don't get sick as often. I'm stronger. I'm healthier. I'm doing things that I wasn't able to do, and I didn't think as I aged that I could actually my health could improve." And we're seeing miracles every single day here in the office. People's goals and expectations being met and then exceeded. Really cool stuff. Lastly, we'll hear from Gus as we wrap things up. Super powerful story here. You guys have been super awesome during this webinar. Tune into this one. You'll be grateful that you did.
Hi, my name is Gus. I've been going to chiropractors all over the country because I've moved quite a bit in my whole life due to some neck pain and some upper back pain. Came to Dr. Brandon. I think that was different about all my other chiropractic visits was, number one, he looked at me personalized my plan. So he looked at specifically what was going on with me, my neck, all the why, the how behind it. So I got a lot more targeted questions and targeted diagnosis than I ever had before. I think the other part of it, Dr. B and his whole team followed up on educating me on why these things were happening, what was going on. And I think the best part about that was I was trying to actually get back to playing more hockey with my kids and then an adult league as well. And I wasn't able to turn the way I would like to and look behind me and don't want to be blindsided in hockey. And after just a couple of visits, I got that motion back again. And I certainly was sleeping a whole lot better as well. But I think what is also interesting about my first couple of visits here were during one of the physical examinations, and even though I didn't disclose I had problems with my right knee and my left shoulder before because I had more pain in my neck, just with one physical examination, Dr. Brandon said, "Hey, it seems like your shoulder's a little out as well," and did an adjustment there, and then actually said, "Have you ever injured your knee before?" I said, "Actually, I have. I fell. It was quite bad." And he said, "Yeah, that's a little out of alignment as well." And the funny thing is, I came here about my neck and my upper back, but he fixed my right knee and my left shoulder in actually just one adjustment, which was pretty amazing. So really happy about the way the entire staff here is very happy, very authentic, very genuine. So I thank you, Dr. Brandon, and I encourage anybody else that wants to seek some relief, come to the offices here. Thank you.
Yeah, so powerful. And I just want to say that if you are a current client at Pure Chiropractic and your family, we just want to say thank you. Thank you for your trust in us and helping to serve your health and wellness needs. It's an honor. What I find is that my clients who understand what's going on always get better results, spend less time, money, and energy in their care. Doctor means teacher. We're here to help and guide you. We are your guide. We are your coach, your Sherpa, your accountability partner. So just remember that on your journey. And if you are not a current client, or it's been a while since you've been in, we invite you into the practice because you're probably wondering, is this me? Do I have subluxation? Is there more that I could be doing for my health and wellness? And so Catherine or Dr. Travis, somebody's going to be putting a link into the chat box. And if that's you and that this message resonates with you and you want to see what you could be doing to optimize your health and wellness, or if you're already a client here and you have a family member at home, somebody who hasn't been in to get checked, or you have a neighbor or coworker you care about, you can share this offer with them. We love an opportunity to sit down with them, find out what's going on in their body, discover if they have subluxation, and give them recommendations based on what we're finding, not only in the office, but outside of the office to help support a healthy lifestyle so that they also can achieve their health and wellness goals here too in the most natural, most powerful, most effective way. So what is the next step? It's to get checked to see if chiropractic can help. So as I mentioned, there's a third reason that we are in this healthcare crisis here today. And that third reason, a wise doctor once said, is that procrastination is the thief of health. Sometimes we think that maybe it'll just go away. Maybe it'll get better on its own. Just give it a little bit more time. But what we find across the board is the longer we wait to take care of it, the more time, money, energy, and focus goes in to try to heal it or fix it. So if you knew you were going to live to be 100 years old, or insert whatever number that you have there, you tell me, when is the best time to be taking care of your health? That's right. It's now. There's no better time than now. For those that are action takers or taking care of your health, great job. We're honored to support you. For those that are looking for the next step, click on that link, schedule an appointment. Let's meet. Let's see what we can do to help you. This is my why. Here's my fun family. This was taken up in Michigan, and you're probably wondering how many takes. I don't know, 3 or 4. We captured this moment. This is why I do what I do. This is why I get out of bed to go serve. Because Kalista and Kyson are part of the generation today not expected to live as long as their parents. That's how sad our healthcare system has become. And COVID is just the tip of the iceberg, exposing how weak it is. And if I have an opportunity to inspire them and inspire each and every one of you and your family towards high-level health and wellness, this is the reason why I've been put on this planet. It's an honor to be here. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. I love and appreciate you. And thank you so much for joining in. Make sure that you tune in to the wellness webinars each month. I know this one went a little bit long, okay, but it's so dense in information. And if you take this information and you start applying that one thing this month, make it a habit over the next 30 days. What is the health potential that can be achieved over the next 30 days? What is that for you? What is that belief system that you're going to start adopting that's going to lead you to better health outcomes? What is that one step? We're here to support you. Thank you so much for being here this evening. Stay safe out there with the ice and everything. And just remember, for you and your family's health and wellness, we've got your back. Go make it a great night, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.